Hello and welcome back to a bit of a delayed Forgotten North Gaming podcast and recording. As you can see, full house. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, mate.
Evening, both.
Right off there, I want to apologise to everyone that there's been no battle reports recently or podcasts. Unfortunately, that's absolutely been my fault. I was really quite ill with norovirus, which scuppered all of the planned time we had for recording. And then since then, unfortunately, obviously it's into the Christmas period. Like, I work in food retail and he has a family, and Stan is on year end for work, so it's absolutely my fault. Plus a bit of them too as well, but mainly me.
It's always your fault.
Yeah. Yeah, so apologies. That it's been a while.
You would go licking strangers in Derby and...
Well, I you see a stranger, you lick a stranger. Like, that's just how I roll. And
then you get real ill.
Yeah. then I get lots of free samples of real ill and just see what it leads. So yes, apologies. The reality is this is probably maybe not only recording pre-Christmas, so at least it's going to be one that is got a bit something about it for our side anyway. But then we will aim to get back into a decent schedule post-Christmas as best we can. So, apologies. With that said, though, the reason we are here today and recording is that we are very, very pleased to announce the second Forgotten North Gaming GT.
Yay.
Yay.
Which will be here before we know it.
It will. It's in Newcastle at the same venue on the first weekend of May in 2025. Very excited about it. 2,000 points, as I will come onto the comp shortly, but as I said, it's at the same venue, and for those at the last event, I think everyone else will agree on the call, that venue itself was excellent, lots of space, end tables, like a really, really good space and venue. The only problem was a little bit to do with bar service. However, we have been assured that will not be the problem this time.
Yeah, it's in their best interest.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree it took a little bit of the edge off, but not enough to spoil last weekend, and that rectified for the coming one will, I am confident, make this an absolutely cracking weekend for everyone who attends.
We're going to keep the same, and we've worked it out, so in the main room we can have up to 40 people, and everyone will have 360 access to the tables again and a side table.
Yeah. So, just perfect for being able to unpack your models, space to sort of just relax, get your books on there. Somewhere for one of us to just come and lurk and lean, which is what it's all about, really.
Everyone loves a bit of lurking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, initially we're capping it at 40. There is possible that we could get more in another room.
Yeah.
But at the minute we're saying 40, so we're not compromising on the space and feel of it.
Yeah, and the only other main difference to note is, this time lunch will not be included. Hotel will be serving, but we won't be including lunch as part of the pack on this event. Which I don't think's the end of the world, but unfortunately,
it's a financial
point. We couldn't afford to keep the price as it is, and supply lunch. So apologies, but there's plenty of things nearby to allow people to buy some lunch.
I think more events are not doing lunch now, to be honest. I was looking at a few other ones, and there's quite a few now that say lunch isn't provided, but there's X, Y, and Z locally and stuff. It's not that uncommon now.
No, and I just think a lot of it at the minute. It's just cost, isn't it? Like, it's expensive to build it into the ticket price.
Yeah.
So we've got this one at £55 for the full weekend.
Yeah.
The reality is we couldn't afford to put lunch in unless we made it about £75 a ticket, and I just think that then becomes potentially cost prohibitive, and we don't want that for people.
There's two Gregs close by, but we'll be doing a lunch with the hotel, and we'll be taking the menus around and taking the orders during game 1 and 4. But there is other options there.
Yeah,
there's plenty of options.
And they don't have any issue with you bringing food in either, which I think is very good.
Yeah.
So that's the boring stuff out of the way with. So, beyond the boring stuff, there's the pack. You can see sort of as I scroll through it on the screen there. It's full of all the regular bumf. We will be using Best Coast pairings. It is already live on Best Coast, so once you have your ticket, feel free to get yourself registered on there. And then we come to the actual juicy stuff, which is the army selection. And this is where we are a little bit different from last time, just building around and trying to work on a not too dictatorial or strict comp, but building on a bit more than last time, I would say. Is that probably a fair summary, gents?
Yes, I think that's fair. We all know that the game isn't perfect. There is issues, so it's a relatively soft comp, but please don't look at the comp in isolation. The 2 missions that we'll cover later are also part of the comp.
Yeah, exactly that. So the starting point, I think, is the bit that hasn't changed is 0 to 6 on core, 0 to 3 on non-core, and I think that's becoming quite standard in a lot of comps and whatnot now. Andy, would you agree?
Yeah, still fits in my 6 chariots, so I'm fine.
You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
Yeah, I think that is fairly standard, the 6 and stuff. It's started, 6 months ago, maybe a bit more, and it's been sort of standard in a lot of the compacts now.
Yeah, I think it's designed to do what it does, which is hopefully stop over spamming. If anything, I can possibly see the 6 core options coming down in some comps in the future, or they might disappear at all. Who knows the way it'll develop? But they're the same.
Well, they might keep the numbers but up the points, in which case it's kind of self-mitigates itself.
Yeah, I could totally see points going up in the future as well. I mean, we've obviously we're sticking with 2,000 points, and we're also sticking with no painting requirement for now.
I think the 2,000 points is pretty much where the game is settled. There's very few going above it. But we'll see.
For now, for sure. I totally agree.
And the 0 to 6 core, again, onto spoilers, I think that could drop away depending on if places go more mission-based.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the game at the moment, isn't it, as well, that we are very much in flux. People are still finding new, different things that work. There's so many different metas within the existing meta. You've got the flying filth of Bretonians, you've got the Chaos Dragon Lord, you've got the Poison Horde, you've got the Dwarf Unkillable Block. It was still in flux, and we're still seeing lots of developmental things, which is really, really positive for the game, I think.
Oh, I totally agree. But I think sometimes that the focus on army selection comp
goes ahead of scenario comp.
Yeah. Which isn't really a comp, but it's
I know when we go to events, it's how much you read a pack. We quite often submit a list and go, oh, there's a pack.
Yeah, so please learn from us, because we often do go, ooh, bollocks, that's in the pack.
Especially Shane as well, if he's listening.
Oh, yes.
Because Shane barely reads a pack.
And a big call out here to our good friend across at Split Fire.
Oh, he doesn't play any of the scenarios.
He'll play a game and then remember the mission in turn 5.
Yeah. So we will come on to our scenarios, but the rest of the army restriction is no single character can be worth more than 500 points in a single model. And I think before we went to any other comp, I think we should probably sort of address that a little, because I think that one's probably the most prohibitive, or the one that might cause people the most kind of angst looking at it.
It probably only hits 2 races, really, doesn't it?
It stops your uber tooled up Chaos Lords, and it cuts down on your Elf Dragon Lords.
Yeah, you can have a dragon. You can have a Chaos Lord on a dragon. You just can't have every toy under the sun. And I think
he gets very little. He gets no toys essentially.
he has like 30 odd points we worked out as he gets points. What was that? Sorry, Andy?
It's because he comes with a ward save, which makes the Chaos Lord that much better as well.
Agree.
You never got to spend your points on it.
But that's the thing. He comes with a 30-point ward built in.
Yeah.
He comes with a ward and a magic weapon off the standard. So he does need something, but he doesn't. He's not naked like an elf lord.
No, you're right. He's got a 5 ward. He's got an AP1 magic weapon.
Yeah, strength 5. So he's not exactly a poor little soldier.
And he's still a 10 wound flying dragon lord. So you can't. It's not that you just can't take them. And if you want a hugely tooled up one, God, Chaos have got some other incredible options. Like I actually really like a Manticore, but I also like a lord on a demonic steed. And I think we kind of all agree that deep down, we yearn for a demon prince.
Yeah.
I think some people have said about the Chaos Lord and all that, but going back to 8th edition, you could have 500 points in Lords full stop.
Yeah, I think it will put some people off initially. Hopefully, not too much. And I think if you see through the rest of the pack, there's more to it than just killy lords.
And we should say we have taken this lead from Games Workshop's Throne of Skulls event.
Yes. Well, these other than the restriction on core and non-core, which we already had, these next 3 are all from the Throne of Skulls event. As we try to find what will inevitably I was trying to find what inevitably will be the quote-unquote official comp. So yeah, no character worth more than 500 points, a maximum of 1 level 4 per army, and a maximum of 2 further level 3s per army. Which I think in reality though is still actually an outrageous amount of spellcasters personally.
As a Goblin player that's taken 4 level 4s before, I agree with it because it was too much.
Oh no, I think if anything you could restrict it further, but I think if this is what Throne of Skulls said, so this is what we've beat into our comp.
2 level 3s instead of 2 further level 4s isn't bad. It just means you're not guaranteed the spells you want, so you're not going to see the spammer of battle magic or whatever.
It would stop Andy's double level 4 beastman as well.
Be a 4 and a 3.
Sad times there. Or a 4 and a Minotaur.
It'd more likely be a 4 and a Beast Lord on a chariot.
If you can ride a chariot, you game on, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because you can't be killing blows or monsters. It's the safest place to be.
It is.
The only thing that can kill him in one shot is a Chaos Dwarf War Machine, I think.
Yeah. I think though, in isolation, some of that's quite restrictive. I think we have tried to take the lead from GW on the Throne of Skulls and build on the comp that we kind of already used that was quite common regarding the unit restrictions. So hopefully people can see that we're trying to do our best to follow the lead of GW and other events that are finding their own thing to try to align ourselves with what will hopefully be quite a common, or like I say, an official sort of comp restriction. I think is the summary on that. Would you agree, guys?
Yeah, I think it's still early days, and we just tried stuff, and if it doesn't work or it has effect, we'll go back to the drawing board.
Well, that's why after each event, though, it's always feedback where possible, and then we'll know what people like, dislike, what to change, what not to change. Because without the feedback, you get the feedback on the day, but it's much easier after the day when people have had to think about it, have proper feedback, either email, message on Facebook, whatever it is. It's easier to review it that way.
Totally agree, and thank you for everyone who did send feedback after the last event, because it's been taken on board. And yeah, as I totally agree, Andy, like, feedback is a gift, and we will keep using it to build on what we've got, because we've already got the third one penciled in for later in 2025. Watch the space for that at some point, but we're very much looking forward to this one. So that's the comp restrictions. Either of you guys think
the
anything else on that? Sorry.
Last thing I would say on that is that we're in an impossible position. For every person that thinks this is a good comp, there is this person that thinks it penalises their army.
Yeah, and that's that. No comp's perfect, but please do give us your feedback, because we are trying to get as good a comp as we can, but we will not touch core mechanics.
Yeah, no, we're not going to change core rules. That's one of our golden rules.
Like, that is a pillar I will die on.
We say that, but are we allowing corn chariots to shoot 360 then? Because core rule says it can.
It fires as a cannon.
But
it hasn't been.
It doesn't have firing platform, though, does it? Oh, it's because it's the legacy list and hasn't been FAQ'd.
Yeah, so it hasn't been FAQ'd like a steam tank has.
There'll be an FAQ coming.
I think it's the Iron Blaster, guys. They've got the same rules as the Skull Cannon, isn't it?
Yeah. I think
some core mechanics we may change.
Yeah, well, I think, to be fair, I think with that particular one, what we would do is take the lead from the GW FAQ on the steam tank and effectively apply it to all the other things that are very, very similar, i.e. Yeah.
And to be fair, the counter-argument to that is legacy lists aren't core rules.
And demons need help, so give them a chariot with 360.
To be fair, demons do need help.
It's not going to break demons.
Unless you're running an all-zenith gunline, which I think's got legs, but either way, it's not great.
That's probably the better demon list.
I know.
Which is just outrageous.
I know. So that's the comp. I think it's a bit more restrictive. I don't think it's too restrictive. I think everything is still perfectly usable. But we are working towards trying to find the comp that we think works best for everyone, I think is the sort of fair summary.
Totally.
So with that in mind, just a quick reminder as I scroll through our pack, painting is not required. Touch on, we won't be using VPs as the overall one that we did last time. This time it will be 20-0 scoring, and our 20-0 brackets are 200 brackets, which is a bit wider than I've seen elsewhere, I think.
It worked well last time, I thought.
Yeah, it did. We have fixed a couple of issues we had with BCP, which was a user problem on my behalf. That has been checked, addressed, and it will work fully this time.
And the 200 points plays into what's coming next.
Indeed. So, missions will be open battle, quarter control, which we've a scenario we've been playing around with and put together, flank attack, objective control, which is again another one we've been playing around with and put together, and then command and control. So from a scenario point, 3 different games that put some priority on capturing and controlling and holding objectives, which I think is the main bit of our comp, if I'm honest.
This is what will drive change, or you ignore it and just go for try and remove everything.
Indeed, yeah. And he's sitting there thinking, my chariots would just run forward regardless. He might just have an extra unit of 10 go.
That's what the Ungo... What else do the 10 go for? They can hold everything. Right.
Your Ungo can get back in your list.
So it's 3 rulebook missions.
Yeah, exactly as rulebook, same as last time. And if I scroll out on the map, that quarter control will be as it states. Controlling quarters of the map. And then our other one, objective control, there will be 3 objective markers equally spaced across the middle of the board, and you will capture them to gain victory points.
I don't think Winter agrees. Just got.
Yeah, apologies, the dog's barking in the background. She's probably about to go even more mental. I think we've got an Amazon delivery, so she's probably going to go absolutely insane. So if anyone else has a crazy dog that reacts to just everything and barks, then I'm sure you feel my pain. Just
protecting your house from that e-commerce.
That's exactly what she's doing. She's exactly what she's doing.
Rampant
might just be
capitalism.
Mark, it's that or Mark's coming with his high elf.
Yeah, she loves barking at Mark, to be fair, doesn't she?
But apparently not when he doesn't bring his army.
Oh yeah, when he's not wanting to have a game and he's just coming across, she's all right.
He just hates it.
No. So, how do these? How are our missions working? So, like I say, game 2, quarter control. Game 4, objective control. To hold the quarters or take the objectives, you must be unit strength 10 at the end of the game when you're holding the objective, not at the start of the game. I think is a key point.
Yes. Yeah, but it's not progressive scoring, it's end game scoring.
Yeah. Priority of who controls the quarter or the objective is proximity, which actually in reality only applies to the objective one. Followed by highest unit strength. If proximity and unit strength are the same, the priority goes to the highest infantry strength infantry list. Not so if cav and infantry are both there, both in proximity, the infantry would capture it to represent boots on the ground being the priority. If they were both the same, the next tiebreaker is the unit that has a banner.
And then all fail and it's contested.
Yes. Did I manage to get through that without sounding like it, without sort of chuntering on? I think that covers how it
That's
goes.
fine. I think, it's... So you've got to have... The important things are, when it comes to scoring, you've got to have a unit strength of at least 10.
At the end of the game.
At the point, yeah.
At the point of scoring. So your 5-man cavalry unit that's taken a casualty, they don't count.
Yeah, your 10-man infantry unit could get it until they take it. Likewise, get it until they take one single casualty, and then they're done as well.
Yeah, and then you just completely ignore them for the purpose of scoring. So they could be right on top of the objective, and it doesn't matter.
Where it becomes a game of is going second better.
Yeah, we've chatted about this quite a lot, haven't we? Like, is Old World actually a lot of the time you want to go second?
I think the only games I really want to go first in Old World is when I play your Chaos Wars because their war machines are really good. Other than that, I'm really not that bothered on whether I go first or second.
Yeah, I must admit, I like to go first with my CDs, and when I play my more true cult list, I like to go first.
I think it really depends on your list there, because you know, drop a huge block on the objective early doors and just weather the storm.
Oh, and this is why our scenarios are our main comp, really, because hopefully you see there's now other ways of getting meaningful points in these games rather than just kill.
The big thing is for the objective mission, each objective is worth 200 points, so that's a 1 point swing in the 20-0 scoring system.
Yeah.
So it is
it's
a
worthwhile.
Massive potential swing. And then how many points was it in quarters?
200 as well. Yeah, so
200.
There's up to 800 points in quarters to be able to get. Now that's incredibly unlikely that you get all 4 quarters. However, it's doable.
It's very doable. And, depending on a list, if you don't build your list with these missions in mind, you could just give that up immediately.
Yeah, and I think that's why we've wanted to really talk through the pack a little bit, to talk about these two things in particular, the restriction on some of the characters, but really drive what we're trying to do with these objective and scenario-based games to make people think about their army selection maybe a little bit differently and try to push more units into the game, which I think everyone who plays it agrees that's probably at the minute the biggest lack.
Yeah, your 1 and 2 Dragon Ogres, your minimum 10-man units of infantry.
Now this might not work, and if it doesn't, we will absolutely take the feedback on board, like we said before, and adjust our comp accordingly if needs be. So please do continue to give us that feedback and your thoughts on it, because we will change it. And we were talking a little bit as well about maybe looking at progressive scoring rather than end of game scoring in our next pack, which we'll play around with and see if we can come up with something a little bit different as well. But that'll be based a lot of it on the feedback that we get off you guys as well. So please do keep giving us that feedback.
Obviously, with all feedback, like, we have been testing these missions and playing them for quite a while now, but don't just dismiss it out of hand because it's something new and different.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Please play the missions and please give them a try before writing it off as a whole pack, because I think this type of scoring is going to help us move the game forward in general.
Obviously, we're not.
It might even stop Andy's chariot spam, but probably not. It's like, nah, I'm not even dealing that with a response to a sheet.
It's a nudge away from certain things.
Sorry?
It's a nudge. You know, we're not ruling that everyone's got to have blocks of infantry.
No,
but
and you can ignore this and still win, and you can ignore these missions and still win the game, which is also absolutely correct, because we want to be able to let people play the game however they want, and that includes trying to help people who play armies that maybe this favours to a point, if that makes sense. Dog.
And I know that I said things like the comp penalises XYZ army, but when you look at the popular, say, Brett lists, there's not many scoring units in them.
Well, a 3-man peg unit's definitely not.
And a 5-man night block, very easy to make not scoring.
That's why I need at least a 6-man block so you can take 2.
So while, yes, the Chaos Lord's taken a direct hit in the comp, other lists have taken it through the missions.
Yeah. It's about being mobile, holding things, tanking it out. I think it just gives a little bit more thought process to how you play the game and how you build your list compared to just, I'm in it to kill it. Which is not just criticism. I love a kill fest.
And there is still missions that are purely kill fest.
Yeah. So hopefully people can see what we're looking to do, and like I say, please do give us the feedback on it. Feel free to test them before the event and give us any early feedback, but I mean, it's in the pack now and it's going to stay there because we have been playing them. They do work, and hopefully you will feel the same after you've attended and played and seen that we're trying to do a little bit something different as well. Cool. Anything else on the comp or the scoring units from you, Andy?
No, I can't think of anything.
No. Stan?
No, it's all live on Eventbrite and on BCP, like you said. So
one thing I will just mention about the pack, sorry, before we sort of sign off a little bit, is just that we will once again be awarding Best General, Runner-Up, and Second Runner-Up. There will be another what I think is the best prize for a wooden spoon, which will be a free ticket for our next event. We're very keen on rewarding people who are still learning and trying. And we will also stick with Best Army, which will be judged by ourselves. Conversions, theme, not just necessarily the best painting, which I think was really hotly contested last time.
It was a really good competition last year.
There were some amazing armies there. And this time we've also introduced Best Individual Model, which I think is a good award and something for people to really present and be awarded with something that's really quite special with a bit of luck. And this time we're also going to introduce Favourite Opponent, because it's just a nice award. It's who did you have the best game against, and we'll be asking you to vote for that on the Sunday afternoon. A little bit of admin, but I'll take that on the chin.
That's your baby.
I love Favourite Opponent awards.
Only because you have a tendency to buy them.
How dare you, sir? I'm a lovely person to play.
Yeah, because you give people money to vote.
And I think, to be honest, with that in mind, that pretty much sums up the comp and our pack in general. So as you were saying there, Stan, back over to you, sorry.
It's all on Eventbrite. We do have the room offer again. And we've bundled everything this time, so there's packages available for everyone. And the only thing to mention is we will be doing the Saturday night meal again, which was such a laugh last year.
Yeah, it was.
But the hotel is changing their menus in the new year, so we'll announce that separately later.
Yeah, what we'll probably, I would imagine, we'll do is reach out to anyone who buys a ticket and go through it that way nearer the time. Yeah.
Because the meal on the Saturday night for me was the highlight.
It was fun. It was good fun. So, I think that starting to draw us to an end. Anything additional you can think of, Andy, that we've missed?
No, again, I can't remember who was it that finished last. So he needs to message because he doesn't take this ticket, does he?
Yeah, Craig.
Craig. Yeah. Like, he wasn't Rob. I can't remember his name. I know I played him.
The other lunatic.
Yeah. The other nutter. These Timson players, what it is.
I know. Bad people. So, yep, we are on Eventbrite. Ticket will be in the description. The link will be in the description below. The pack will also be linked below. And I will also try to link the BCP address below as well. It's all live. Please read through the pack, and we would love to see as many of you attend as possible.
Definitely.
So with that in mind, we will say thank you very much for listening. Sorry it's been a while, and we will hopefully see you after Christmas.
Have a good holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.